Hello, y'all. How are you doing? It's time to paint some more Bayou stuff. And this is where we left off last time with Stumpy, which is just the cutest. Also a little dark considering the Waldegeist arm hat shit she's wielding. But I'm thinking the story there as that they're friends, right? Let's hope. So I thought we would start off by painting in her sandals and that rope that she's got the laundry hanging from. And I'll do that with some Citadel Sandry Dust, which is a nice sort of warm beige color. And start painting the rope in that. I think maybe we'll mix it with a little bit of, yeah, maybe do the sandals a little bit darker than that. And I was thinking that for the fabric she's sitting on and her hairband, maybe we'll do some warm reddish tones to contrast with the green gremlin skin and the cool colors of the clothes. So we're just starting off by base coating all this rope. This color covers pretty well, even though we're painting it directly over black, and it's pretty bright, but it still covers pretty well. Yeah, thanks for the sub one. The butchering of names has already begun. Sorry. So when we've got this model finished, we only have one more model left to paint in the Bayou starter. Though next week we might paint something else, something a little special. So we'll see more about that later. Got Gen Con coming up next week, which I'm super hyped about. Hi, Sean Gleason. How are you doing? It's nice to see you here. You excited for the Gen Con stuff? I'm really excited for the other side starter box and also Misshapen, which is such a cool model. Such a great concept, and it's creepy and quirky in a way I really like. Malifaux models have always been a bit quirky, or at least a lot of them, which is just lovely. I found it very easy to look at all the Gen Con releases that Wyrd put up and be like, I'd like some of that and some of that and maybe that one and maybe that one. So we'll see how that goes. I wonder how we should paint the sock. Maybe a striped one? So how are you guys in the chat? Are you doing well? Anyone else hyped for Gen Con? Oh, trying to not get any of this Zandri dust on the branches. So the bark, if you weren't here Tuesday, we did that by dry brushing it with dried bark, another paint from Citadel, which we brighten up more and more with Stumpy Bone, like a very light beige color. And then we did some spot highlights with actually, what did I use? Maybe pure Stumpy Bone, I think, to make some of these areas pop a little bit more. I'll also make sure and paint this, like in the artwork, there is some like a glow from the eyes and the mouth in turquoise or light blue. So I thought we'd try and do that and emulate that. Guess we could also pick out these little ropes here on the Waldegeist branch axe with your Stumpy Bone. It's a little bit hard to see what's what here, but this is supposed to be some, yeah, it's more clear on this side, some rope tying everything together in this spiked axe weapon. Sean, yep, I am heading to Gen Con to decide what to buy from the new Wyrd stuff. Nice. I'm a little envious. I'd like to go there in person, but kind of live across the pond, and then there's COVID. Would be fun to go to Gen Con some year. Would be so much fun. Maybe in the near future. Yeah, like I think I'm the most hyped for the other side box set, and as I said, and the Misshapen. I really miss playing the other side. It's such a cool game. Got some cultists, a half painted army of cultists. How will we paint her necklace? Guess we could do it with this color. We're mixing in some dried bark with the Xandri dust to like do a first layer on the necklace. I think we're gonna do some like bright spots on the little stones and trinkets of the necklace in some brighter colors, but we're gonna do that later, I think. Brush licking has started. Wyrd, it's okay, Elinore. We'll party in style while they're all at Gen Con. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Actually have a couple of birthdays to go celebrate, which I think I can do now that I've got the vaccine. Yes, Kitty? Kitty wants to play with me or something. She's been asleep for quite a while, and now she's woken up and she thinks I'm boring. Go figure. So I'm highlighting the necklace with Xandri dust, and might like put some turquoise or reds or pinks in there later to suggest little stones. Sean Gleason, haven't played the other side, might get a demo. Yeah, I think like got off to a rocky start, so the player base isn't huge yet, but I hope this really cool crossover starter set is going to change that. More people are going to try out the other side, and because it's a really good game. Yeah, thanks for the like, Jens. Like, it's got some similarities with Malifaux. Got the Fate deck, and the stat cards have similarities, but it's certainly its own game. It's pretty different. I really like it. I think I've asked before, what allegiance do you rep? I play I play like 4 games, I think, and I want to play more, but I play the Cult of the Burning Man. So far, I've only painted Adeodatos and 3 fire teams of Warped. But I got some more stuff to paint. Some stuff is like the ECB Black Ops are started. So I just have to... Doom Seekers are really cool. I've been wanting to buy them too. But I should start by finishing my second unit of Warped, my ECB Black Ops, and my Stalking Portals. Yeah, Burning Man's got some really stylish, freaky units. I like him. So, yeah, sandals. I think we'll do dried bark with mixed with some Xandri dust, and we'll just overbrush, which makes it so that we've got some dark paint still showing in the recesses of the detail. These are really nice sandals, aren't they? Sean, I might get the Nightmare set with the other side as a starter. Yeah? That Nightmare set is cool. Like, moray eels are one of the coolest animals, I think. I don't know if maybe I maybe I spoke about this earlier, but I think it's really cool that moray eels have this extra set of jaws that they can shoot forward like an alien. So cool. And that the little trenchling pointing to its mouth being like food there. I can so relate to that trenchling. So that's adorable. It's a favorite. Such a good model. Totally cool and not at all horrifying. No, yeah. Who doesn't want like an extra set of jaws they can just shoot forward, right? Yeah, if you want to see something cool, Google, I guess, moray eel jaw skeleton or something. It's pretty cool and scary. Mixed in a little bit of Rancor Flesh to highlight the sandals. And I think we're gonna do a quick little layer number 2 on these ropes, because it does cover well, but there were a few spots where it was a little too see-through, I find. What advice do you have for anyone experiencing painter's block right now? Yeah, my advice is probably to look through your models and try and find a mini that really speaks to you. That is like to just paint for fun. I guess it depends on what kind of painter's block you got. Like sometimes you feel like you just need to paint a miniature because you need it in the game, and then it might not be as fun. You should kind of reward yourself sometimes, I feel, with painting something that just looks like it's really fun to paint. And to be fair, we, as miniature games collectors, we tend to be like, ooh, new shiny, I want to have that, I want to buy that. And then we're like, I'll paint it later, maybe? I know a friend spoke about this like today or yesterday. And like they're never as fun as when we just buy them, right? But sometimes you can like rekindle interest in miniatures you haven't painted yet. So like maybe go through your collection and be like, try to find something that really speaks to you, that just looks like fun. And if something feels like a chore, just reward yourself. And I guess also be nice to yourself. You don't have to paint everything at once. Just try and get a little bit done, and then do something else. And also, not every miniature you paint has to be the best thing you painted ever. That is something I think we need to tell ourselves. I mean, it's a pretty good way to, you can push yourself and be like trying to outdo yourself constantly, and that's fine. But also, I don't think we should lose track of like painting for fun. Not every mini needs to be something where you push yourself to the limit, because that can give you painter's block. Push yourself when you feel like it, and then when you don't, stay in your comfort zone. Like when you got painter's block, it's not really the time to challenge yourself. Probably. I guess there are lots of different painter's blocks. I guess you could have a painter's block where you're like, need to go out of your comfort zone for it to be fun. I guess it can happen for very different reasons. Sean, I'm finally getting around to painting stuff that I bought last year. That's really nice. Like, I got stuff from when Malifaux 2nd edition first launched that I still haven't painted. But I don't feel like I have to paint every model I buy. I think we'll wash this rope with a little bit of, hey, where's my washing brush? There you are. Oh, I forgot you with soap on you. No, I don't tend to speak about my brushes as if there were people, but apparently I did that now. Gotta get that soap out of there. Got a brush soap, which is pretty nice to have. That wouldn't taste very good. No, we need to get the soap out of there so we can taste the paint, right? So I'm using some Agrex or shade, also known as liquid talent a lot of the time, to wash the ropes to quickly give them some shading. Could do a sepia wash, but I don't really have one. And this is fine too. You should buy a sepia wash. Exactly, yeah. And while that dries, we'll paint something else. Maybe, yeah, let's paint the fabric she's sitting on. So maybe a burgundy would be nice. There we go. Got exciting paint name here, Elinore Burgundy. It's a pretty nice color. Seraphim Sepia is a cursed wash for me. I've spilled like 5 of them all over myself. Yeah, I bought one of these. It was more expensive than it should have been, but I have not spilled much since I got it. Yeah, Elinore Burgundy is a nice color. I think so. It's a pretty cool burgundy. So I think maybe her headband will do a warmer tone. Probably have Limiting that wash does not leave a flattering stain on clothes. No. I had an embarrassing looking chair way back when I started painting miniatures and spilled ink on it. Did not look great. Did get teased about that a few times. So I went for a more subdued color for her, should we call it hammock? Because I don't really want the eye to be drawn to it. I want the eye to be drawn to the gremlin sitting on it. So this is sort of background detail. Do you have a favorite color to paint, Sean? I really enjoy painting reds and turquoises or teals. Red is a bit of a comfort zone for me. I guess turquoise is too. Whereas green, I'm not as experienced with, so it's fun to play some with that color to paint the gremlins. Also painting a lot of orcs for another game at work. Commissions. Using this burgundy, I think we'll also pick out her armbands. Might change my mind that later and do it some other color, but I think this should look good. Did I say armbands? I meant bracelet. Can you even say armband? It sounds very Swinglish, Swedish English. Like it's called armband in Swedish. A lot of Swedish words are very, very similar to English ones. Sean, I've been working with yellows, greens, and bluish grays. Yeah, there's something really satisfying with painting yellow. I mean, it can be really frustrating, but it also looks so... It can really pop. I mean, I get happy from... I almost kind of get happy from looking at yellow miniatures. It's a very happy color. Jumping around a little bit here. Yeah, actually, let's do another wash. And now we're doing it on the burgundy. I'm gonna hit it with some Citadel Nuln oil for some quick shadows. We're starting a sort of a league or vassal tournament in Sweden, which we're gonna start playing to like try new master tiles and stuff. In I think it's gonna start on Monday, so that should be fun. I'm gonna play explorers probably and try and get some practice in with them before the tournaments I'm going to in October and November. You gonna play in the tournament at Gen Con, Sean? So now we got 2 washes drying. It's like the rope wash isn't quite dry yet. So we'll pick up some Citadel Exotic Green, which is a pretty saturated turquoise color, and we'll pick out this guy's eyes. Bit magical. And then gonna paint some of this. Really saturated turquoise into this closed barky mouth. Gonna work on creating a glow like in the artwork, which is not the easiest thing ever. Where did I put that brighter turquoise? I thought I took it out to prepare it, but it was apparently a light blue. Oopsie. Brighter turquoise. Where did you go? That's not the one. This is very exciting content. Are you the one? No? That's a turquoise. But it's not the brightest. It's another burgundy. Where did I put that? I mean, we can, of course, just mix white into the turquoise, but a problem with just mixing white into paints for highlights is that we lose saturation. And, well, you can regain some of that saturation by doing a glaze over it with color later and like working back and forth with that, because we're trying to balance the light and we're trying to balance like the value with the color saturation. But Hearth Blue is a nice highlight. Yes, it would have been nice. I don't own that paint, but I got some bright turquoise Reaper paints. But just this one paint that just avoids me right now, apparently. But I guess we'll have to do without. That's strange. Yeah, I guess we'll add a little bit of Wraithbone to that. Exotic Green and see if that works. Yeah, that's still pretty saturated. We can work back and forth. So we can work with this. Didn't find that paint. I really think I took it out earlier, or I thought I did. Oh well. So I mixed some Wraithbone into the Exotic Green. And I messed up the one eye. I wanted to do a little dot right in the middle. I kind of erased that with some water on the one eye because I messed it up. So I'm going to wait for that to dry a little bit before putting in more of that. So we want to create a glow where we go pretty bright, but obviously we don't want it to get just too white. And with a glow, you want it to, like a glow effect, you tend to paint, if you paint OSL, like object source lighting, you need to try and figure out which areas would be hit by the light. And looking at this mouth, the light coming from this mouth is probably not going to, like, it's not going to hit these areas, right? Because the light goes outwards from the mouth. So it's going to be like a really thin line. But like this moss for the eyebrows would certainly be hit by some turquoise light. And what we can do then is to grab some turquoise paint, mix it with a little bit of water, and slowly build that up. One thing to keep in mind while doing object source lighting is that the area where the reflection gets or hits, or where the light is reflected, to be correct, it cannot get, like, it shouldn't be lighter than the source of the light. So we cannot highlight this eyebrow from below with turquoise to as bright of a finish as the eye itself, if that makes sense. And the eye itself, we're going to put a pure white dot in the eye. Whilst still keeping, like, we still want some bright turquoise in the eye too. I want to try and create the illusion of light, because painting is all about illusions in a way. But we can make highlights on the eyebrow with white mixed with turquoise. So it can still be pretty bright, but it should not, it cannot go up to true white or pure white. But you still want it to, like, you want it to pop and be noticeable, whilst also not being as bright as the eye itself. So it's a bit of a balancing act. You can, of course, also do OSL with airbrushes. But to be fair, this method is pretty quick too. Doesn't take that long. You already have a pretty good OSL. It, of course, takes longer if you got more different objects that should be hit by the light. We don't have a ton of that here. Maybe there would be a little bit of turquoise here. Like, there's a trick to seeing, like, if you try and look for angles, you look at the light source, and then you turn your model around to try and see where does it get hidden from sight. And then we can sort of get a little bit of a hint as to which areas should be getting this turquoise treatment and not. So we also want to brighten up the mouth a little bit more. And yes, we could put some of this turquoise light from the mouth on the knee here. So I'll do that soon. Like, it's tempting to put a glow around the mouth, and I've done similar things in the past. But really, there's no way that this light would hit there. Like, not from the mouth anyway. It would not be able to hit those areas. So it would look quite unrealistic. So now we're instead working with the contrast between the bark's color and the turquoise glowy color, magical lights, to get a real pop there around the mouth. So I did another highlight on the upper lip of the Waldegeist. Like, increasing the contrast of the bark around the mouth, which also helps the blue of the glowy mouth, glowy inside of the mouth, pop. And when I say pop, I mean stand out, like draw attention to itself. If I ever use a weird term, like, I guess pop is sort of kind of self-explanatory almost. But if I use some weird term and you're confused, don't hesitate to ask me what the hell I'm talking about. I'm also a bit, like, sometimes when I try and talk about things, I tend to forget about giving people all the required context. So I can be, I think I can be a little bit confusing at times. This one I'm excited about things. So what do you think? I think that looks pretty good. Freshest follower, Isadel. Cool nickname. Anyone in the chat painting anything cool right now? So I mentioned earlier that I dry brushed dried bark brighter and brighter on this mini for the bark. But as you saw now with the highlights around the lips, I also did selected highlights with layering parts of the model too. Areas I really wanted to draw some extra attention. I guess we can put a little bit of turquoise here on this arm. Or the hand. Arm, hand, branches, thingies. So I think tomorrow is maybe the last reveal for Malifaux titles before the Malifaux Burns book. Am I correct on that, Kim? Sean Gleason, some Iron Hill Dwarf Goat Riders. Yeah, I think maybe you mentioned those on some earlier stream. Dwarf Riders, that's just epic stuff. I meant Goat Riders. I said Dwarf Riders, right? God, sorry. I'm hopeless. Like, I didn't really enjoy the Lord of the Rings, or I love the Lord of the Rings movies, but I didn't really enjoy the Hobbit movies much. But man, Goat Riders are awesome. I do actually play the Middle-earth strategy battle game sometimes. Can you guess if I'm evil or good? Wyrd, I'm sorry, while I was chewing on my leg, what was your question? My question was, is tomorrow the last reveal for Malifaux Master Titles? Or have we had all the reveals? I'm grabbing a little bit of Ushabti bone and I'll go do some rope highlighting. Whoop, whoop. I think so. Let me check. Thanks. Cool. I know a friend is really hoping for another Outcast Master reveal. Okay, so let's highlight some rope. And since I'm a notcher, I'm going to do this with dots, suggesting rope texture, whatever you call it. I don't know what it's called, actually. But let's call it texture. Thinking about blockbuster movies, it's just so strange in a way that there's Matrix 4 coming up. I really don't know what to think. Like, I love the first Matrix film. Wanted to love the others, and I think I enjoyed them, watching them at the cinema when I was a kid, but they didn't really... yeah. Rewatching them, I'm one of the ones who don't really think they're great. But And like, I really like Keanu Reeves, though. Looks like Biletsky is the last one tomorrow. Biletsky, what's Biletsky? So they got a master reveal. Cool. Maybe I butchered that name. My favorite movie by them is Speed Racer. Speed Racer, is that a film by Wachowski? I haven't seen that. Maybe I should look it up. Like, I really like The Matrix, and I kind of liked Cloud Atlas, but Jupiter Ascending was a horrible pile of burning poop. And unpopular opinion, perhaps, but Sense8 is like, I feel like their movies, they always try and be like the largest, most important, most bombastic, like answer to life, everything, universe, and everything. They're incredibly. It's kind of like eating a 4-cheese pizza with extra cheese. In a way. It's a live action. It's like a live action cartoon. Yeah, it could be cool. Sense8 is singular in its narrative, I will say that. Yes. It's yeah, it's not very subtle, is it? By being very not singular in point of view, yeah. And I feel like maybe the Wachowskis they really like that. They seem to want to make films where that are like super deep and super and that's fine, of course, but like somehow it gets too much at times. Like every film they make, they want to try and make it almost like the deepest shit you've ever seen. I guess that's not true for Jupiter Ascending. Jupiter Ascending is just shit. It's just shit. Damn, this turned whiny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll try not whine. Hopefully, The Matrix 4 is great. I really like Keanu Reeves, and I think that the Wachowskis can really make good things. They made Matrix. So, and I hope they've took some of the critiques of the sequels to heart. So, should be fun anyway. I didn't mean for this to become wine stream. Remember The Matrix? It's going to be interesting to see how they are explaining how the plot can progress. Um, So I watched a couple of battle reports today by TNG Productions. Really like their battle reports. Very good. Saw one with Pandora and Colette, the new titles. It was nice. Pandora was being mean. Shocker. Who would have thought that Pandora was mean? Honestly, why do you let her be so mean, Wyrd? You could have stopped her. You could have made the title like Pandora, nice woman. Right? You didn't have to do what you did. I'm being silly here. The new Pandora is cool. I like Pandora. I played Pandora. People always tend to be pretty happy, don't they? I actually had a very fun game where I played a Pandora mirror at the Scottish GT one year. That was fun. I think my opponent, who was a really nice guy, I don't recall his name right now, but I think I asked him like, "Do you play Pandora much?" No. He replied, "No, I only played a little bit with her," and I was like, "Hey, hey." It was cool because we took the different limited upgrades on her, so we had the two different flavors of Pandora. It's like box versus voices. Sean, I enjoyed Shang-Chi. Wait, did the Wachowskis have anything to do with Shang-Chi? I haven't seen it, but it's the new Marvel movie, right? They can do some really cool action. Oh, they did. Cool. So like I feel a lot of the Marvel movies turned out to be like it feels a bit like they're going after formula sometimes. That some of them are very much alike. Did you feel like did Shang-Chi bring anything new to the table? Or was it just like a solid superhero film? I can enjoy a solid superhero film. Hi, Ashenholt. Welcome. How are you? Nice to see you here. We went to the cinema to see it on release day for my friend's birthday, and it told us we arrived that all showings had been cancelled. That really sucks. I was going to go to the theater the other day with my girlfriend, but that was cancelled due to illness. It's always a shame. Like the first theater, I don't go to the theater a lot, but thought it could be fun. Now that things are opening up a little bit. You know, maybe add a little bit more white to this. Some places on the mouth glow. Hey, remember when Yanlo had an action called Weird Mouth Glow? That was interesting. Good, just working away whilst I tune in. Nice. Did you get to see Shang-Chi some other day? Hoping this in. Hi, Havoc91. Nice to see you here. How are you? Havoc. Hoping the cinema will stay open here for June next week. Right, yeah, that's a big deal. I have not read Dune, and I have actually not seen the old film. It's David Lynch, right? Like like my relationship to Dune is really weird. I mean, obviously, it's probably influenced quite a lot of things I've watched, but I learned of Harkonnen from the manga Hellsing, where in Alucard's dreams, like that weird Harkonnen is in those dreams, together with Bruce Willis. The Hellsing dreams are fantastically random. From what I recall. It's a long time since I read them. Used to be a bit of a manga nerd. Don't read a lot anymore, but like nowadays, I do still read some of the stuff that Hiroaki Samura does. The one who made Blade of the Immortal. He does some really weird shit. How about, I have not read Hellsing, but that sounds very random indeed. Yeah, I think something like, I think his gun or Sarah's gun, maybe it's Sarah's gun, is called Harkonnen, but it's very reference heavy. It's, or I think I painted a branch burgundy. Like a lot of chapters in the Hellsing manga are just named after video games. Like there are chapters called Final Fantasy and etc. I don't think Hellsing is like my favorite, but it was enjoyable. I was a huge Berserk fan though. And Blade of the Immortal. And Death Note. That's pretty cool. So I mixed a little bit of bone into the burgundy to highlight that. This fabric's got pretty clearly defined creases. Actually, pretty much all of the fabric in this mold does. So it's pretty easy to know where to put those highlights. Gotta lick that brush. And the underside of this fabric should not be highlighted too much since should be in shadow. Havoc91, you working on anything cool miniature related right now? Totally fine for everyone in the chat to reply, by the way. Is anyone working on anything really cool? I know Sean is working on something really cool, as in Goat Riders. Maybe someone else is doing anything cool too. Highlight that bracelet. And that bracelet. And this one. Havoc. No, sorry. Play Wyrd. I have a bust that I've been trying to make myself progress on. Cool. What kind of a bust is it? I've actually never painted a bust. So I got a big model of Ciri from The Witcher that I should paint sometime. Just got a bit down when I managed to break her very thin sword off. And I've not managed to replace it yet. It's very different painting large miniatures, I think. Havoc was working on some pretty old 15 mil fantasy miniatures, just chilling right now. Nice. Working on such small miniatures is, of course, also pretty damn different. You find it's relaxing? Ash and Hole, gap filling on some superhero minis, not very exciting. No, that it isn't. Filling gaps. But it's something that's nice to have done. Play Wyrd, Baba Yaga from Carol Rudick. But I'm eyeballing some weird stuff to try and get inspired. Cool. Baba Yaga. So, Keanu Reeves. Okay, that was a bad joke. Baba Yaga is like probably the main inspiration for the rider, right? Hi, Defective Dice. Nice to see you here. Welcome to the stream. Greetings. I love your painting style. I'm working on my Seeker crew. Love their look. The Seekers are so cool. I need to find time to paint mine, since I'm going to have to get them to attorney in October. I ordered the Damned and Here Lies box with the more Wraith and Grave Goo the other day, so they're on their way here too. The more Wraiths are so cute, and Grave Goo, you know what they say about Grave Goo? It's the best goo. I think that's what they say. Play Wyrd. I have no idea what to do with Sophie, but I want her to look awesome. Sophie is, like any Sophie with paint is gonna look awesome. I think so. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to do either. Like, I really kind of want to paint them teal, but also I'm like, maybe I should paint them a little bit different, because I got some nice teal clothes in the artwork. I kind of want to do that, but also kind of want to do something different. These are the kinds of life problems I have. Keeps me up at night. Can't sleep. Ugh. Color schemes. Color scheme picking is difficult. Pick your favorite flavor paint. It's not burgundy. Burgundy is... yeah. There was this paint the other day, which was pretty tasty. What was that? What was that? Oh, by the way, throwback to an old podcast, sporting my Arcane Reservoir t-shirt. Missed the podcast? If you're listening, then record some more stuff. And if you missed it, they're like, it's like, what is it? Eric and Nathan hanging from a tree, but this is a palm tree. Like that old hanging tree model. Mixing more bone into burgundy, doing more highlights, putting paint in places. Very good commentary. Nice short shirt. Yeah, thanks. It's nice. It's actually maybe a little small. Got some of that COVID fat, which is fine. I like the shirt. Arcane Reservoir. Also such a nice rule to have. Need to paint Winston Finnegan. I actually played Winston with Jedsa one time. I say one time, I played Jedsa the whole of 2 times. And Winston is probably nice with everyone. Even to the opponent too, I guess, since he can be bribed. So what are we thinking? Maybe we should get to polls, like, what's the tastiest paints? I'm going to put some watered down turquoise in this lady's ears, which is something they do really nicely in the Gremlin artwork. There's almost always a little bit of orange in their ears to suggest that they are a bit transparent and full of blood, which looks great. You know what I've been thinking of doing? Building my Von Schill model and putting a floral bonnet on him. Wouldn't that be cute? Maybe someone's already done that, but I haven't seen it. You like the emissary can give out the upgrade floral bonnet. And I kind of want to see that on Von Schill. I've had so much caffeine today. Okay. Let's paint some more orange into the ear. Can you tell I've had caffeine? I think it's probably obvious. Defective dies. I think he could pull off the bonnet. Remind me of Jane from Firefly. Oh, Jane! Jane is nice. I like Jane. I mean, I guess he's not nice, but you know. Air's looking nice, I think. Yeah. We're gonna paint. Gonna paint the hairband corn red and see if that feels like it's too much or if it's good. This is a good thing with bendy plastic. Boop. Just moving our axe out of the way. It was such a long time since I watched Firefly. I feel like it's a nice series when you want to see something that's like just nice, comfy, like wholesome, like good time. Is that too much? I think maybe it works. Like we don't mind some attention going up towards her face. And it's gonna fit in more when we highlight and shade it. Could look good. If you have any opinions on color choices, they're totally fine to convey. Doing a tiny bit of red shadow in the moss because I don't know, felt like it. This is something you can play with if you want to shade, like you can shade green with red and vice versa. It can look pretty interesting. Like it's actually a very reasonable thing to do. I want to define these fingers a tiny bit more. Putting a little bit of dark brown paint there. Re-highlighting these fingertips. All right, look better. Right. Yeah, I'm thinking, do we want to do a dark gray and striped red sock, maybe? I'm going to paint the sock Dark Reaper, which is still a really cool, grim name for a paint. Dark Reaper. Yes. Always feel really cool when using Dark Reaper. And yeah. So to like a very good paint to shade red with is actually Incubi Darkness. Speaking of cool paint names. So I'm actually gonna use some of that. It's a Citadel paint. It's like a very dark, muddy, almost green. It's like a super dark teal. It actually makes for a very good shade on red paint. Because the shadows on something that is red can actually be a little bit green. This is a complementary color. It also makes it pop. Again, bendy axe. Should not actually bend this too much because the paint might break apart. Hi, Kitty. Kitty wants to play catch. We can't really play catch right now, Kitty. And yeah, Kitty's not a dog. She just really enjoys playing catch. Don't know if you can hear her. Sean, never thought about that. Yeah. And like that, if you want to paint yellow, you can add some purple to the shadows if you want. Yeah, not right now, Kitty. But like if you, I guess you need to try and not overdo it with these contrast color shadows. Like it should be a little bit subtle. Or you could overdo it, and actually it can look pretty damn cool if you overdo it. Oops, had a bit of too much water there on the brush. So I'm adding a little bit of Fire Dragon Bright to the corn red to highlight it. The artwork shows her having some blood on the axe, but I'm not sure if we'll do that. Bless you, Kitty. Maybe a little sap. Yeah, maybe. Actually, I don't know how I would paint sap. Kind of similar, but more ochre, maybe? One thing you can do if you feel like highlighting red can be difficult, it can turn either to orange or to pink. And a good middle road is highlighting by mixing in Caucasian skin color. I was just about to say, okay, Sean Glee. Oh, I miss a lot of chat. Hi, Salty Sea Bass. Thanks for the input. Some UV resin would be better. I usually use orange or sepia for yellow, and for red, I use Flesh Shade. Yeah? That makes sense? Ashenol, I was just about to say the same thing. UV resin with wee sepia tint. What's UV resin? Is that like, actually don't know what that is. I guess we could do like, is there resin that cures under UV light? Cool, I didn't even know that was a thing. Guess we could just add fishing line and some water effects to that mixed with some paint. See, I kind of want to think of these two as friends, though. Doesn't seem like a very healthy relationship otherwise. We're all about those healthy relationships in Malifaux, right? Forgot to paint the ropes up here. It gets used a lot for acrylic nails, making jewelry, etc. Oh, cool. Should look into that. Then have to get a UV lamp too. Maybe, I guess. Now I probably just sound really stupid. It's kind of like the giving tree. She needed a weapon, so the Waldegeist gave her its arm. Is that, yeah. It's pretty grim. Don't you think? It's a grim world, though, Malifaux. Although the giving tree is kind of an allegory for abusive relationships, in my humble opinion. Oh, yeah. Maybe this could be a bad relationship. I don't know if there's any story about them. Did have an abusive relationship in Malifaux. I'm glad Molly got rid of that stupid necromancer. Nobody likes Seamus, right? Creep. Malifaux's most wanted. I don't actually remember the Giving Tree story, but I probably heard it. Mixing a little bit of bone into the Dark Reaper to highlight the sock. No, do I really want to do stripes? Now I'm feeling a little like, ugh. Like it's an annoying shape to draw stripes on. Maybe I won't. Getting a bit lazy now. It's a little late, isn't it? Nah, it's not. Wonder where the second sock is. Maybe in a branch beside where the tree stood before. What should we paint the top from her clothesline? What color should we paint it? What do you think? I'm asking you, mighty hive mind. Oops. Smack my camera with a paintbrush. Let's... Denim. Yeah, but... yeah, maybe. It's a little bit... it's a little bit similar in color maybe to her... the top she's currently wearing. Let's paint these little... what are they called? Clippers? I don't actually know the English word for these. I would call them klädnypor. Yellow with floral pattern. Yeah, maybe. Guess we could do that. Clothespins, I'd assume. Yeah, sounds about right. That's what they're called in Swedish, but in Swedish. Dropping paints all over. Elmuppo82 just subscribed. Thanks for the subscribe. Welcome. How are you doing, etc.? Gotta paint those clothespins. See, I wonder if we did a yellow top, would that draw too much attention to a detail in the back? I guess it's not visible from the front. And I guess we don't have to do like the brightest yellow ever. Doing some beige highlights here on the pins. So we've gotten pretty far in this model. We basically pretty much only have that top left paint and the axe. That's cool. Also got a tiny belt here to paint some. Putting some Mornfang brown to that. Oh, it's so small. So small. My cat is currently searching around in my drawer of paints. I'm not entirely sure what she's doing. I think maybe she wants to try and get behind it, which is not something I like her to do. She didn't manage though, so that's nice. Oh, she finally found something to play with. I do realize cat commentary is perhaps not what people might want to listen to. Right, we were gonna pick out some little stones sort of in her necklace. Looks nice. Gremlin's got a pretty necklace. This is my favorite model out of the Starbucks. Nice, Seabass. Yeah, it's nice. It's really cool. I find it difficult to pick a favorite. I know a lot of people have said this one is their favorite. It's certainly a good model. Really like the look of the rooster too, though, just because it looks so like that. Like I think it was Guslada who said that rooster has seen some things. Catmentary, yeah. Got some catmentary. Farah. Oh, looking good. Thanks. Thank you very much. That's nice to hear. I appreciate it. Soul to Seabass, I like how there's nothing else like it in the faction. Yeah, that's totally fair. It's pretty unique. I did notice how the sculpt is kind of walking forward, though. Like, the artwork shows it running. And the clothes on the clothesline suggest that they're running, or I guess maybe a strong wind, but it looks a bit like the Waldegeist is just walking. Other than that, I think it's a really nice model. It's well balanced. Like it's got a bunch of nice, interesting details to look at, but it's not overpowering, which I really like. No, Kitty, not right now. Later. It's a very fun starter box of models. I will say that. It's very, very cool. They're also fun and quirky, very gremlin-y. Kitty getting nippy. Kitty really wants to play catch. Like badly. Hi, Gusada, how are you doing? I'll throw it. But you know I'm working, Kitty. Top. Gotta paint that top. Doing good? Cool, me too. Don't have too much left to paint on this Waldegeist fellow. Stumpy. Still pretty stumped about how to paint the top here, but I was told yellow, so I guess I'll do yellow. With floral pattern, we'll see how that goes. Yellow. Stump. Well, yeah. I like my little... I like my puns. Next stream, Elinore will have to fend off the ferocious kitty while painting. Yeah, she did bite me right before the start of last stream. She bit my leg. Right, so I'm painting the top in Citadel Everland Sunset, which is good coverage for being a yellow paint. That it does. Yellow paints are often the worst. Like yellow and orange tend to cover really badly. I find. And this is not the brightest of yellows. It's almost like yellow mustard, which is actually nice because we don't want this to be like smiley face yellow. I think that would be too much. Yellow can be a pain to paint, yes. Mostly because you just need to do so many layers. But it also just makes me kind of warm and fuzzy inside looking at something beautiful painted yellow. It's a nice color. Salty Seabass, do you have any recommendation for an orange that gives good coverage? Asking for a friend. No, I do not, but I also want a recommendation. Like Citadel's got a base color that is orange-ish, but it's not really, it's more of a brownish orange. So, nah, I'm stumped there too. If anyone else has a good recommendation, I wouldn't mind one. Me and Seabass. Maybe Guslado has one. Defective dyes. I like orange brown from Vallejo, 70.981. It's a pretty brown, but it works good as a base. Ashenhold Art Mars Orange by scale 75. Cool, got two good suggestions there. Thanks. I did paint some orange on, like I've got orange as a spot color for my Molly crew. Used pretty sparingly. Like Molly's got an orange dress, but I just painted tons of layers. Didn't have any magic paint. Guslado, if I'm going orange and not flame orange, I start with an orangey brown for base. Oh, cool. Ashenhold. Okay, orange by GW is also good if you can get a decent pot. Oh, yeah, they vary. Yeah, some pots are bad. Going flaming orange, I will go with a red for the base. Yeah, sure. That's totally fair. Like a red base is good. So now we got a bright yellow. Like it's a little overpowering, maybe. I think we'll tone this down a little bit. It could look good. It could. But we need to wait for it to dry. Fine. GW paints vary quite a lot in color and quality, to be honest. Yeah, I guess. Like their whites are usually not great, at least. Orange over red reads a lot differently than an orange over brown ochres. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So she's looking pretty good, I think. This is the base they will go on later. And then when we paint the rabbit, we'll do another base with water splashes, because water splashes are always fun. Oh, how did you make that base? Thanks. Yeah, as I mentioned in an earlier stream, I got a tutorial on how to make these swamp bases. So if you go to youtube.com/c/sybarite_painting, you can find a tutorial on how to do this. And I didn't mention this in the tutorial, but you can totally mix some green or brown into the water texture, water paint, water effect. If you want that. I went for a clear one so that you can see through to what I painted underneath. It doesn't show up super well in the camera right now, but yeah, like you can certainly mix a little bit of paint into that water too. Thanks, Gus. I'm meaning to do more tutorials later. Might actually do a beach base tutorial. And maybe also like a snowy mountain base tutorial, like how I did it on my Rasputina crew. Rasputina. You know, let's paint some metal on this axe. Thanks, Wyrd. Also thinking, like if anyone wants a tutorial, anything specific, you need just ask. And I can try and make one. Takes a bit of time to make a tutorial though. Oh, I missed some rope there. I like keep missing a few things. I need to make tutorials at some point. Yeah, but really cool if you did some, Guslado. Like doing a tutorial takes so much more time than you think it would, or than I thought it would, at least. But then, like my first painting project tutorial thingies, I guess they're about a little bit more than 1 hour long. So of course that takes some time. We're soon going to be wrapping this stream up, but like we don't have a lot left in this mini. Just base coating the spikes and the axe with lead belcher from Citadel again. And next stream, we'll paint something different. But the stream after that, we'll complete this one and start on the Lost Gremlin, probably. I filmed footage for making stone wall terrain out of sheets of tile, but never got around to editing it together. Now, like, editing is, it can take a lot of time. It's not the most fun thing to do. It can be a little fun to edit, I find, but it's not fun for the whole process isn't fun. I find, at least. I'll pick out little lines on the clothes pins. Editing is pain. I've done lots and lots of work in both After Effects and Premiere. Yeah, I got Premiere, but I actually don't really know how to use it yet. But last time I used a free program called Mini Tool, and I really liked that one. It was very easy to use. I don't feel like Premiere is the most intuitive or easy to understand program ever. It's actually a little bit strange. Like I can use Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator, but different Adobe programs are always so different. Like one would think you'd get more of a head start from already knowing one program, but I don't feel like that's really the case. That's not been my experience, at least. It's not like After Effects better than Premiere. Oh, okay. After Effects is a bit simpler, right? So to shade this, we are adding some black into the lead belcher, and actually don't really care about it not being dry. We can just sort of wet blend this, which is nice. Concentrating the darker highlights. Not simply just different Premieres, more of a video editing, or After Effects is more for motion graphics. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, like, it's called After Effects, so but weird for them to have two programs doing the same thing, I guess. So we want the shadows to be more towards the top. And we are going to put a little bit of black in the topmost area. So painting metal is all about contrast. See, we need to put the dark colors right in beside the really bright colors, so we'll do highlights beside this later. But now it is time to wrap up the stream. And Wyrd is doing a lovely job of linking to my social media stuff. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We'll finish this model at a later date. It's not much left. And it's been great hanging out with you. Really excited for Gen Con next week. If there's anything you're wondering about, just send me a message. We don't really have a lot of work left to do on this mini. I think they're looking pretty great. Yeah, we got some exciting things happening next week. It's gonna be real fun. I'll see you guys next Thursday for some streamy goodness with miniatures. Those are some nice miniatures. Looking forward to that. Have a good time. See you. Bye.